Hello and welcome, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the 4E framework to help you with your social media strategies and to really take your business to the next level. And today we have special guest Thomas Lee, who is here. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you so much, Ed, and a privilege. Like I was saying before, I think this is the first time I'm on your platform in your home turf, so I'm super excited and super privileged, brother.
It's awesome. Yes. And we're streaming to multiple places. So wherever you're tuning in to us from, feel free to drop a comment during the live or afterwards, and we'll connect with you. Be sure to say hello at the very least. And today we want to talk about the 4E framework. And we are going to be sharing 4Es that are going to help you with crafting your social media post. And before we jump into that, let me just ask you, how many of you struggle with your marketing, with social media posts, and really trying to figure out what to craft? I want you to think about that. And even if you watch the replay, let us know down below, because it's really important to not only think about that question, but also write down your answers, because then you're actually making it consciously aware of the situation at hand. So then that way you can give yourself permission to get help and ask for help in the future.
100%. And as a real estate professional, it's always like you're pretty much putting out fires all day. Whether it's an attorney, whether it's trying to get a listing, whether it's this client, or offers being accepted or not accepted. There's so many things to do, and it's like the last thing I want to do is figure out what the heck to post on social media, because that's going to take about 45 minutes, because I'm thinking I want to post one thing and then I'll do this, but then that doesn't sound right. Which way do I go? So it just leads to, first, a waste of time, decision fatigue, and then it's not effective.
Yeah.
Right. So Ed and I just wanted to come on and actually give clarity to how we can make posting, how we can make content, and even make it even more powerful by infusing all this together so that it becomes clear, concise, and converts.
Yes. And before we dive too much further in, we should probably have you give a little bit more of a background for you, Thomas, because most people are probably going to know who I am on the channel here, but they probably don't know too much about you. So why don't you give a little bit more background, so that way they can get to know who you are, and hints. It will give hints to what we're talking about today.
For sure. How far do you want me to go back? is the question, right?
Exactly.
Right. So for me, I grew up in a family business, and it's pretty much all I knew. I knew my parents were working 100-hour weeks. Never got to really see them because they were basically providing for the family. And growing up, I was like, I don't want to be like that. So my whole thing was, let me go to college and let me go into like finance, or let me go into something where you can make a ton of money and my parents could be happy because you're financially successful. And the first job I actually got out of college was actually in commercial real estate. I was actually doing commercial lending, and I wasn't as successful in there because I hated the corporate environment. I wanted out. I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and that led me going into personal development, getting my real estate license, and I was not really productive at that moment because I didn't know how to really market myself. But then COVID hit. We learned how to market. We learned how to get through all the strategies, doing some online coaching. And to be honest, I didn't hit a financial mark that I promised my wife I would. And she's like, what are you going to do next? Which is, let me get back into real estate. I think I learned a couple of things along the way that will help me propel me forward. So the decision was to get back into real estate actually in August, about 3 or 4 months ago. And taking what I learned with all the marketing and stuff like that, one deal, 2 deals, and now we have 4 deals under contract at this moment. So riding the momentum, pushing forward, and just working hard really every day. But that's where I'm at the moment. That brings us up to today.
Yeah, which is why we wanted to do this live, is to really talk about the success that we're going to share around the 4 E's, like how you can implement that in your framework, or the framework that you can implement in your social posts. And to have, Thomas come on and share his story, because a lot of you, I'm sure, can relate at some point or another in your careers with Thomas, and being able to know that there's a lot of work that goes into marketing yourself online, and being able to connect with others, and not only connect, but grow those relationships, and be able to take those relationships to the next level, whether it's referrals or closing deals or whatever it may be. There's just a lot of time and energy, and of course it's a business, so money that goes into all of this. But we're hoping that by the end of this live today, that the 4E framework that we share with you will help make that a little bit easier. And then stay tuned till the end, because we do have some other resources that will help with that.
100%. And, there's so many different ways to market yourself. People tell you start door knocking, right? Some people say start jumping on the phones and just cold calling people. And I really hated those, and it sucked, and I sucked at it. So I'm just like, how is this going to make me better, and how can I get out to the masses? And it wasn't until Ed and I we shared the 4E framework that helped me get really concise in the content that we're putting out there, so that we connect and essentially convert. These are how I got my business. It was actually 100% of my business comes through social media.
And that is nuts. That is nuts, because I know that there is a lot, especially when it comes to real estate, a lot of agents who, they might be on social media, but they're not using social media. And if they're using it, they're not using it effectively. And therefore, they don't think that social media is working for them, and that it's a waste of time. And, they don't want to stand around, well, dance around, I should say, on TikTok all day long, when they can be doing other things. And so being able to understand that social media has 100% contributed to your deals, and being able to get you not only noticed, but also connected, and being able to build those relationships and then close those deals, which is amazing.
100%. And it really started off with the first E, right? And Ed brought it up. It's like the first E is entertainment. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to do these TikTok videos. I don't want to dance around. Like, I suck at dancing. Like, and I don't want to make myself look like a fool or whatever, but it's how people connect with you. They understand that you might not be the best dancer. You're not there to show off. You're there just to connect. It's like, wow, like they'll remember you. It's like, I remember the way you danced, and maybe they'll make a joke of it. I hope your real estate deals aren't like that. Like you could always have fun with it and ad lib it, but the entertainment factor must be there.
Yeah. And it's true, because when you think about, why do you go to social media? Like, even just for yourself, if you're tuning in, ask yourself, why am I on social? And chances are you're going there for entertainment. It's not like you're going to Google to search for something, right? Like, we have very specific intentions when we go to these certain websites. And usually when you have a question, or you're trying to solve a problem, you're going to Google to type in what you're looking for. And you're going to social media to kind of escape a little bit and be able to get that entertainment that you're not getting in the real life. I mean, I go on TikTok in the evenings at the end of my day, because I know, one, I'm going to learn something, but two, I'm really going to be able to laugh and kind of loosen up how the day went, especially on, those more challenging days. It's just nice to not have to think so much, and just to be able to scroll and be like, yeah, that was clever. I didn't know that. Interesting. it's that kind of stuff that we learn from social media and that entertainment type of posts.
And it could be in so many ways. You know, there's a buddy of mine, all he does is tell dad jokes. And like the only one laughing is him, but it's so funny. Just the way that he laughs. It's like it's so stupid, but I can't take my eyes off of it. I can't, you know, I have to laugh at this, or like I have to show someone else because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, if you have a good dad joke, of course, you know, it's always a good dad joke.
Right. And that's the thing. It's one of those, we all have our uniqueness to ourselves, right? And when it comes to sharing that on social, especially these days and going into 2022, video. Like, I know you've probably all have heard it, especially if you're been following me, but and if you're following Thomas, you're starting to see him do a lot more videos over the last few months. And hopefully you're either starting to do videos or you're getting that improvement on the videos that you have started that you still haven't felt 100% comfortable with, because video is what's going to make you stand out online, and it's what allows you to be you and allows others to really get to know, like, and trust you quickly. And it's what I like to say, the next best thing to being in person, right? Like, that's the power of these videos. And so when you're talking about entertainment, it's something that you can do. You don't have to dance. You can tell jokes. There's so many different ways that you can go around. Just this is the first E, the entertainment part. It's going to segue into our second E, which is educate. So when it comes to educating, you can still entertain while you educate people. And it's really awesome when you add that video component. It's really hard to do in a regular photo post. But if you're doing video, which is what I'm going to push for you, and you're going to hear me as a broken record, when you're doing video, you can educate. It could be a simple video of you talking. It could be a simple video of you with a whiteboard. And let me just tell you, whenever you have a whiteboard, the crowd goes nuts. You don't even have to write anything on the whiteboard. You could just have your pen with the whiteboard next to it, and everyone tunes in. It's amazing. You can also do entertainment with the education. So you can be dancing and pointing and educating on how things go, which, by the way, that's probably, I mean, if some of you have seen my short clips, my TikToks and stuff, you'll see me dancing, but I don't know if I've been goofy dancing like that on a live. So there's that for you. But look, it entertained at least Thomas, right? So like I made at least someone's day, and he's going to remember that, you know, Ed's that goofy guy that does these live videos that tells me I should do more videos. If he can do it, I can do it. And so that's the beauty and the power of video, and what I like to say, the live effect, because I like to do live videos. That's actually what got me out of my box and had me step in front of the camera, because I never wanted to do video, let alone be in front of the camera live doing video work. But I knew when I started my business several years ago, that was the only way I was going to market myself differently and be able to stand out. And really, that's the only way that you, the viewer or the listener, was going to get to know me a little bit better than just a basic post with text and a photo. Like, you don't get to see and hear and feel my energy from a photo or text, but you better believe you can right here, just like we experienced.
And it's 100% right. It brings me back to when I first did my live. It was during COVID, actually. So I was wearing the shirt and I was wearing shorts underneath, right? Because that was like the uniform for COVID. But I remember that I wanted to make it so perfect. I wanted to make sure that I hit every single mark, that the whole wall was full of notes. And if I look back at that video, I was not looking at the camera because I was so focused on what I should be going at. That when I look back at that video, I'm like, holy crap, this is like the worst video. But through repetition, through practice, you get better,
Yeah.
and you start to let down that guard, because now your true self is showing up. Now that people are connecting with that self.
Yeah.
And that's where the trust is built. That's where the know, like, and trust factor is built. And even when I'm posting videos, honestly, I don't if I look bad or if I say something wrong or if it's not perfect, I love it even more because I'm like, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And the people are like, wow, you're so natural. You're so good at video. How do you do it? I was like, through a lot of error. Like, that's the only way that you learn in this space.
Yeah.
But where it comes in super important. So the first thing we taught was entertain,
Yep.
right? And the second thing that we taught was education. And the reason why it's so important when it comes in that perspective is when you see Ed dancing, you're entertained, you're engaged. And then the mind opens up. Your guard is let down a bit so that you take in that education.
Yeah.
It's like when we go to a rock concert. When is the last rock concert that you remembered? You could remember the lights. You could remember the energy of the crowd. You could remember the words. You could remember, probably what you were wearing,
Yeah.
because the energy and the emotion was so high that when you recall it, it is so clear. So this is the reason why you want to entertain them a little bit, tell a joke, dance a little bit, just come in with something really entertaining like a story, and then segue it into something that's educational so that they're like, wow, I learned something. Even though it could be something that they already knew, but they're like, wow, no, I learned something really new today. And
It's so true.
it's so effective. So that is the reason why we're teaching the education piece. No, well, the
Yep.
entertainment piece first.
Yep. We
Yeah.
started with entertainment because that's what connects us all. And that's really what we're seeing on social. And many of you hopefully see that when you first log on to social as well. And then we have to take that next level because that's like the entryway. Then we have to take that next step because we want to educate people because we're the experts. You're the expert. And you have so much knowledge up here that your audience, even if you think you don't have an audience, you do, that your audience doesn't even have a small portion of that, let alone you in their back pocket yet, which is why you have to start getting out there and start doing more video work and start with the entertainment if that feels comfortable for you. Go into the next step, which is education. Think about what can you share, break it down. Like if I have one magic superpower, you might think it's video. I'm going to go totally sideways and say it's simplifying. Whatever you got, I'm going to simplify it for you. So take something, write it down, and then cut it down even further because it needs to be very short and sweet. And that's going to be the topic that you can carry on with your video, with your social posts, whatever it is, you can use that. And then that's going to take us into the 30. I was going to say fourth, but the 30. Thomas, what's that third E?
So the third E, not 30, third E
Yes,
is, so there's only 4 E's, not 30,
that's right.
is empowering. And with empowering, you want to give a bit of inspiration. You want to give them the energy to take an action so that they call you, that they text out to you, that they comment below, that they like, that they subscribe. If you keep on giving them too many empowering things, they get kind of confused. So just try to stick with one, right? But I'll just tell a story in terms of where my one of the empowering posts that I put out there was actually, it affects a lot of people that do not talk about it, and it's actually going through mortgage forbearance.
Wow.
And when I had to put this story out, my wife was like, what are they going to think about you? What are they going to think about us? And there was a lot of fear. I was like, you know, as a realtor or as a real estate professional, it's very fearful going into that vulnerability space, because you'll be like, what if they judge me? What if, you know, it's all the fears that come up. But I came to a realization of like, if I don't share this, if I don't entertain by bringing this to light, sharing the education of what I learned from this and the actions that we took to get out of it. So essentially, my wife and I, um, at that point, I closed the family business. My wife, she resigned at the same time. We went on a vacation for a month. We come back, everything's locked down. And we're like, crap, we don't have any income coming in. And that's when all the lockdowns started happening. And we're like, okay, we could either pay our mortgage or we could utilize this program that the government offered, which was mortgage forbearance, right? For people that couldn't be up to date with their mortgages. And it kept on going. We had to keep on calling the banks, letting them know, no, we won't be able to pay this month. And they're like, well, what are the options well, we have three options for you at this moment. It's like, you could pay it in full. You could pay it over a 6-month period in terms of whatever mortgage that you're missing out, or we could basically tack it on to the end. And we were getting closer and closer to mortgage forbearance ending, that we're like, we need to make a decision. And ultimately, it's not a decision that was easy or that was that we wanted to do at this moment. We didn't foresee it, but we ended up selling the home.
Wow.
And through that story alone, I had a lot of people that I didn't know that were in a similar situation saying, how'd you do it? How did it feel? And I'm like, I know exactly how you feel, because I remember that I was going back and forth with these decisions, that I don't know what to do next, that we're constantly trying hard at something. And for a lot of people, mortgage forbearance has ended. And for some of the people that got the extension on it, it is going to end. But what is the empowerment that you could offer them to, number one, connect, be the guide? And if they trust you and like you and know you, they'll probably give you business if that is the decision that they decide to make.
Yeah.
But it inquired the entertainment, the story, the educational piece. What did I learn? And lastly, the empowerment. What did we do? And by doing that, it was the scariest thing and the most we didn't foresee it coming, but we had to make a decision in order to move forward.
Wow.
So,
I mean,
content like that, stories like that, it's game changing.
yes. And I don't know about all of you tuning in, but that was powerful. I mean, just hearing you share that, if you would have wrote a post about that, of course I could feel it. But unless you're a really, really good writer that can really paint that picture, it would never have come across the way that you just shared it. And it just like it hit me. Like it just like wow. And that is what really ties in our fourth E, which is engagement. Like now I want to engage with you. I want to share something with you. So if this was for example, if you had shared that on a live, just like now, I would be going and commenting, wow, thank you for sharing your story. Or thank you, I can relate. Or I might message you and let you know that privately because maybe I don't want to share that publicly. Like that's what allows us to start to engage with the other person and really connect. And that's the beauty of not only video, but these four E's is being able to share what you know, share what you are feeling and what you've gone through, because there's others out there. I know, like, that's what keeps me going when it comes to especially the live video and just video work in general, is being able to connect with others and help them share their stories. One agent that I've worked with before, having them show up on camera was amazing. Like, it was one of the biggest fears for them. And now, a few months later, they're doing TikTok videos with that entertainment aspect to it. And it's getting that engagement part going. And it just, as you can see, it lights me up every time. But it's one of those things that you just need to take that next step. It doesn't have to be huge, it just needs to be that next step so that you can keep moving forward. Because let's face it, you're tuning in and most likely you've heard all of this before. You know that you need to be doing something, but there's still just something. Might be little or might be big, but there's just something that's stopping you from moving forward. And we're hoping that after hearing these 4 E's and being with us today, that's going to help you get pushed past that a little bit for that next step.
100%. And I know exactly who Ed is talking about. I used to be in the same office with her.
No kidding.
Right? And she is absolutely crushing it. And for me to see that, because we had conversations before, and they were like, I don't think I could do the video. I don't think I could do this. And, this was prior to me even getting into real estate, because I was helping her. I was helping them with some of the other coaching aspects of it. But then she mentioned, I'm working with Ed. And then I'm just like, that's the glue that put it together. And she's absolutely crushing it. I love watching her videos because it's entertaining, number one. And it's like parody of what a lot of real estate agents do. And she makes light of it. She makes it fun. And she's getting the business that way.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing. And we share that with you because it's hopefully going to empower you to do something differently with what you're doing in your business and how you market yourself online, because it really does make a difference. And the stories that we've shared are just setting just a kind of a general timeline, are just, let's say, 4 to 6 months, maybe. We'll just be a little generous there. Some of you can have results quicker. Some of you can have results a little bit longer. That doesn't matter. What matters is that consistency, like Thomas was talking about in the beginning, is that consistency and that repetition of being able to keep doing it, even if you're not seeing right away results. And when I say results, I don't mean you just close the deal by doing a 2-second TikTok video. Sure, that could happen, but let's not have those type of expectations going into it. I always tell my clients, like, expect no one to show up to your videos so that way you can remove that stress and not have to worry so much about how many views, how many likes, how many shares, how many comments. We're not here for all of that. If that comes, great. What we're here, especially right now, is to start showing up on camera and to start putting yourself out there, because that is what is going to make a huge difference, not only for you personally, but for you professionally, and being able to grow your business for the long haul and be sustainable with it.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that my friend, actually the writer of You Are the Brand, he had an intervention with me, because I was joining all these masterminds. I was going through all these programs, spending tons of money that I probably didn't have,
Yep.
because I wanted to get the results quickly and I wanted to get it today because I thought I needed it by today. Because
Yep.
I've been seeing people that have been doing it for 4 years finally getting their results using the same system, but it takes time. It takes a relationship. It's not like when you're meeting someone, you're not counting, okay, how many times did you pat me on the back because I want to know exactly how many likes I'm getting. It's the long-term game, right? And I've spent 30 plus thousand on some of these masterminds, and his advice to me was, how long do you want to be doing this for? And I said, well, I love what I'm doing. I'm just not getting the results right now, but I want to do this forever. He's like, if you want to do this forever, what's the rush? And that made me stop because I'm like, what am I rushing for? What am I missing trying to get to this end goal so quickly that I'm not bearing the fruits or harvesting the crops from all the seeding and burying of building out a relationship and letting that manifest, letting that grow into a relationship. And that's why it's not a 6-week thing. It's not an 8-week thing. You know, it takes time. We want to be vested in a long-term relationship because it takes time. The first two months in this business, I only did 2 transactions. But people were contacting me. Even when I walked past them in restaurants, they're like, oh, what's up, Tom? Like, I see your videos. But they never comment. They never do anything, right? But it just, they see it there. They're paying attention. They're just not engaging. But it's not for them to engage. It's for us to provide that entertainment, provide the education, provide the empowerment, provide the engagement from our end first, so that they know who we are, what we do, and why we do it. And that's the reason why it's got to be built long term, right? So the first 2 months, 2 deals, 1-1, not too bad for someone that's getting into the game. But this month, 4 deals on the contract. And I just got, access to 3 more off market properties last night. I was talking to Ed because we were getting this live together, and I'm like, dude, I just got to step out for a moment. You know, I'm not going for the listing. I just want to meet the person. I want to know what they're about. Mm-hmm. And they sent me a text message. All right, I already got a listing agent. I'm like, I don't care. Like, if I do have a buyer, if I do have someone that could come and see this, I'd rather be first to show them so that we could get this done. And they're like, oh, if they're not interested in this one, what about this one, or we even have this one coming up in like 18 months. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you to use me as the agent at this moment because they're your sister-in-law. I don't want to break that relationship. It's going to get really awkward during Thanksgiving and holidays. But let me be a resource. Let me be of help. Let me be the marketer behind this, because I feel like that's where I could genuinely help the most.
Yeah.
And it's because I've been using social media. I've been able to get more access and more eyeballs on something because of social media. One of my recent listings was all because of social media. And what did we do? In 4 days, we got 22 offers, X amount over asking. And we had offers still coming in a week after, even though we had final and best on a Monday. But it's because the power of social media. I wouldn't have gotten that listing if someone tagged me in social media to refer me. So it's not just about a one and done, let me get a sale. But it's about establishing a relationship where other people point at you and saying, Tom's doing great stuff.
Yeah.
Reach out to him.
And that's the beauty too. You brought up another great point that I just want to point out as well for everyone is that, obviously we talk a lot about video because obviously that's my background there. But it's that is a huge part. But when we talk about social media and your strategy, you brought up another key point to it is somebody tagged you in a comment. And so I'll kind of leave this as a cliffhanger for people, but I want to emphasize on the importance of being on social media. And when I say being, I mean having a profile on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, probably YouTube, because you're all going to be doing videos if you haven't already. And then if you want, you can do TikTok and all the other ones. But those are kind of your four main ones. And having that presence there, because when somebody comes across something that they know would be of interest to you, or they think of you, they want to tag you. And I will tell you, especially on LinkedIn, this is why like I have a lot of real estate agents that I'm connected with on Instagram. And now I'm connecting with them on LinkedIn because I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn. And I want to be able to tag them in the comments, but you can't unless you're connected. So understand that it's so powerful to at least have that first connection there so that you can be that resource and be that support system that, hey, Thomas, there's somebody looking for help in New Jersey. Hey, Thomas, this person is looking for help. I know it's outside your area, but I think you can at least point them in the right direction. You know, being able to be that helpful resource is amazing, and the other person's really going to note it and recommend you to others.
100%. And the way I was tagged was I was actually in a mastermind group of professionals, and they were in North Carolina, but the home is located in New Jersey. And it just happened out that, okay, we're in the same group. I trust you because I believe that by you vesting into something like this, that you're serious to take your game to the next level. And that is one of the greatest things about having support. It's not only do you have the support over there, you're connected. You learned the new skills that is actually working, and you have the strategy to do it. And you know, there's so many like programs out there. It's like, buy my 6-week program, and I'll teach you stuff that worked last year. And dude, this thing changes every month. Like you have to know what's working, and you have to work with the people that are doing it. One of my biggest things when I told Ed that I'm getting back into real estate was, let me see if I learned what I learned can be translated and really work in this industry. And by the grace of God, by the grace of going through that pain, I've learned a ton to help my own business, but also help further. There's agents that are like, what are you doing? That's totally different. Like I see your videos compared to everyone saying that we're listing, we accepted an offer, we're under contract, sold. It's great that you show your achievements, but a story like a forbearance thing, that hits home. That still gets shared. That was shared by more realtors than anyone else because they were like, wow, thank you for having the courage to share that. I never knew. And for me to share that to help one of their clients have someone understand it, it gives them more education for it. It empowers their client for them to move forward, and it gives them business. Like this is the power of the educational piece. They'll start sharing your stuff, you know, because you're the expert. You're the one that's going through that experience and sharing it. So, yeah, that's the power of being a social media agent. and coming into a collective group, into a mastermind of this, to make it happen.
So true. And that's why we wanted to share with you all the 4 E's. We'll do a quick wrap up here, and we want to invite you to also check out more resources here in just a second. The 4 E's, just to do a quick wrap up, is entertain, educate, empower, and engagement. Those are really the 4 E's. If you can nail all of those in a post, in a video, awesome. Don't feel like you have to, because it can be very challenging to do all of that at once. But understand that by at least starting with one of those and incorporating that more on a consistent basis and using video to do that, you are going to get noticed. You are going to start seeing those results, and people are going to start talking about you more and sharing your resources more. And remember, like Thomas said earlier, it's not always going to be publicly. Like, I commented on your post or I shared your post. You might be walking into the local business and someone says, "Hey, I see your videos and I love them," because that happens. It happens to me too. And I know it happens to my clients as well. You become basically like a local rock star. It's very strange, but it's really cool. And then that helps fuel your fire as well. So understand that it's worth it, and it's time that you're investing that actually doesn't have to take a long time. When you have the right tools, resources, and people that you're connected with, you can get this done really quickly, in just a few minutes every week, actually. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. I would say I probably spend about 5 minutes doing a post every day. And it's got me 100% of my business. Wow. And the reason why it's so powerful is that at least you have a body of work that they could actually see. Right? It's not just a one-off phone call. It's not a one-off door knock. This gives them a timeline of like, wow, like this, they started just like this, and look at them now. Like, that's inspiring.
Yeah.
That's what who I would like to work with. And the greatest gift of doing the video marketing is that when I walk into a face-to-face listing presentation, and I dislike the word presentation because it seems like you're like putting on a show and like presenting whatever.
Right.
But I say be present.
Yes.
And the 4 E's actually help with the listing presentation too. Start off with a story. Start off with a commonality. Educate them in terms of the way that the market is going. Educate them in terms of how things are moving forward.
Yeah.
Empower them to make a decision. And engage with them. And this is what we teach within the 6-month journey. It's not just video. It is, we go through every single avenue to push forward professionally, personally, spiritually, to make this game just aligned, happy, joyful, not a dread. We're here to help and grow the business. And when you show up happy, the people know that.
Yeah. It's so true. And what Thomas is leading into there is that we both have teamed up to present a 6-month mastermind called Social Agent Mastermind. And if you are curious about it, you want to learn a little bit more, maybe you heard something today that really resonated with you, and you want to see how we can help you in your business and being able to implement and really streamline your systems and processes here for social media and your marketing in general, then we invite you to apply here at socialagentmastermind.com. I put the link on the screen, and then I'll put it here as well in the comments for everyone for you.
And the greatest gift about this is, you know, it's to really change the industry. You know, how many people are showing up? Like the biggest thing that like is the biggest gripe for me is I don't tell people that I'm a realtor, because they're like, what do you want? Stay away. Like, you know, just do not call me. I'm not here to be your lead source, or you know, like your sphere of influence.
Yep.
So, you know, I see like the hairs on the back of their neck stand up and they're easing away. Where I've been able to build a relationship with them is by not telling them that I'm a realtor, but by showing them that I'm a realtor.
Ooh.
It's hard to show people when you don't have the video or the posts or any type of online presence.
Yeah.
But if you keep on telling someone, right? I think the joke was like, if you go to a bar, you know who the realtors are, the vegans, and I forget like someone else, because you know they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm a realtor," right? And they're gonna go about it.
Yeah.
But that's not as effective. That doesn't help them build a relationship with you. It actually builds up a guard.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying, "Hey, I'm in real estate," just have a conversation. Not about that. But, you know, when they get to see you, like, wow, I just met Tom the other day and we didn't speak about real estate at all. Like, that's different. And let me see what he's about. And the next conversation I have with them is like, holy crap, you were in forbearance? And I didn't have to say a word. They actually went back and they kind of snooped to see exactly what I was presenting out there. But that builds a relationship. That builds the trust.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, over 97%, and this was pre-pandemic, but over 97% of people will research you before they ever contact you. So that's the beauty of your story and being able to implement these types of strategies and using video to help be more real online, so that you can't fake it, right? I mean, people are going to see, if you are, they're going to see it and they're going to understand, okay, well, you know, I like them, but I do know that they're full of it, or they're trying this, or no, you're really genuine, and I really do want to do business with you. It helps remove that barrier. It's like when you walk on the property of a used car sales lot, right? The minute you pull into the driveway, you know something's going to go on, and you just put up the wall. Probably do it before you get there, but when you get there, it automatically goes up. Because why? You don't know who's on there. Your assumption is that they're all just going to sell you something and not pay any attention to you and your needs, and that they're just there to make a dollar. I guarantee you, though, and this is a bonus tip for used car salespeople, if you're listening, is that I guarantee you, if you had your sales team do weekly videos, market updates, whatever you want to call them, I guarantee you people will feel more comfortable coming to your lot and meeting with Jed or Tom or whoever, because they already know who they are before they walk onto the lot. It's the same thing with agents, and being able to get to know your agent before you ever reach out. Because there's that, you know, that question that comes up where it's like, okay, I need an agent, or I should ask somebody, but I don't want to ask and feel like they're going to just jump. And then I'm inundated with all of this and it's overwhelming. And then they never ask. So you want to make sure that you're the one helping ease that transition by implementing these 4 E's and being able to gradually help wherever they're at.
100%. And the biggest thing is people hate to be sold. People hate to be sold, but the thing is, people love to buy. And it's about teaching them the strategy. It's about teaching the skills. It's about giving them the support so that they know that they're not doing it alone.
Yeah.
That they are supported and that they have a peer group of people that are working towards the same thing, that are cheering each other on,
yeah,
and holding each other accountable.
That's a big one.
Right? To show them you are better. You are made for greatness. You can do a lot more with the resources that you have.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I want to see you succeed.
And you are doing better than you might think you are. Like that's a big one when it comes to the support, and why I'm so excited about this opportunity of us being able to do this mastermind is because I know a lot of clients who I've worked with that prior they could do it, but they didn't know if they were doing it well. And we're our worst critics. All of us are our worst critics. And so being able to have the support behind you of being able to not only show you what to do and show you how to do it, but also to know that it's working, it's helping, you're improving, because chances are it's going to be really hard for you to do that on your own, to see that progression. Think of, weight loss or weight gain, depending on your goals. It's hard because we're too close to see the change, especially when it's those small changes that make a huge impact. It's really hard to see for ourselves. So that's why it's important to have that support.
Absolutely. And you want to have the right support. There's a lot of support groups out there that are like, you're not doing it right. Do it my way. Do it the way that I taught other people how to do it a year ago. That it'll work the same way because, I've been in the game longer.
Right.
I've built a little bit more presence. So if it works for me, it should work for you. I've like I said, I've been back into the real estate game 3 months ago. I know what works and what doesn't work. I know what worked last year and what doesn't work from last year till now.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things that we're constantly innovating. You want the newest and freshest strategies, skills, and getting the right support, especially when a lot of the support that you're probably getting by not being in a group where it's growth minded, they're probably saying that's never going to work because it's never worked for them.
Right.
And people that are under you will always tear you down, but people that are above you will always help you up. So that's what this group is about. That's what this 6-month relationship is about. We love to go further and share this and extend this invitation to you so that you crush it in 2022. Crush it tomorrow. Like, why wait for 2022? Like, I'm here. I'm just like, they're like, 22 is going to be the greatest year. I'm like, do it today.
Yeah.
Do it today.
I mean, all have, if you've tuned in, you can watch the replay, you all have a huge start right now. We gave you those 4 E's. We gave you that information to be able to run with and start implementing now. This invite is just that extra for you to be able to help you take it to the next level and to continue to stay accountable with that for 2022 and beyond, because all of this is what you'll be able to continuously apply in your business.
100%. So apply at Social Agent Mastermind, and we look forward to seeing you at the top and onto the other side.
Yes. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time, and go ahead and use that link there in the comments to apply. We'll see you later. Take care.